So just about a half an hour ago, we got the first update to the Into the Woods public test server since last week, and I skimmed through it just a bit, and I will say that I'm happy to see the changes they made, some of them. So what I want to do is real quickly go through these patch notes and give my opinions on the changes that were made, good and bad. So we're going to skim through the stuff here that says fixing crashes, because obviously the fixing crashes is, we want that. Ladders no longer adopt a strange rotation when being added, fine. Let's get down to the ones that Xbox Series X no longer randomly hitches. I've seen a lot of people saying on console the public test server is not running well, so hopefully this helps out those players. Termite King pathing improved. This is going to be great because I did notice the Termite King, the one time I fought him, he did seem to get like he was stuck in the he was getting stuck in the wall, and he also was just like walking into walls. Termite King will no longer wait. Termite King will no longer wait to attack while other small termites are around. That's cool. Let's make him more aggressive so he's a little bit tougher of battle. Termite King walk animations are no longer really fast. Okay. Larger bugs should get stuck in the terrain less. This is great. I don't know, but like I don't know if it was bigger bugs, but the other night when I was testing something, I think it was last night, I noticed that I was trying to test out some weapons, and some of the termites, I think they were termite soldiers, they were just walking and randomly just like clipped right through the ground and disappeared. It happened quite a few times. It also happened inside the termite hill, so hopefully maybe that helps with that. Photo models in the data tab display correctly, great. Black Ox Beetle rock attack is no longer blocked by grass. That makes perfect sense, because honestly, if a giant bug threw a rock at you, it would more than likely push a blade of grass out of the way, considering those bugs can just walk through the grass anyway. Burgle will no longer offer chip sleuth quests the player's already completed. That's awesome, because I did notice when I played through the content the first time that a lot of the quests I was getting were for those chip quests, and I had to keep declining them, so I was ending up only getting like one new quest a day, so that's cool. Burrowing creatures no longer share their names when the player looks at them. I'm perfectly fine with that as well, because you actually can tell. I don't know about the, well, I guess the larvae that are up in the upper area, up in the upper yard near the shed surroundings and the barbecue spill. They're the only things that pop out of the ground up there, as far as I know. I actually haven't dug, so maybe there's grubs up there. Actually, there are grubs underneath. I know there were grubs behind the fertilizer bag, so maybe you can tell for those. But honestly, the difference between the grubs and the regular larva, it's pretty easy to tell the difference if you played long enough. The UI will no longer incorrectly imply that bombs can damage Tier 2 and Tier 3 resource nodes, okay. Heads cutscene works properly. I haven't seen that yet, but I will definitely see it when I play through the game again. Fixed a few science placements. I know there was one that was clipping through a pot, so that should either be able to get it now, or maybe they're taking it out because there was actually another one above it. Building customization camera placement has been improved in certain scenarios. Great. Beefy smoothies can be crafted in creative mode or with all recipes unlocked and free enabled. Love this, because honestly, everything that you should be able to do in survival, you should be able to do in creative, honestly. Just to honestly, it's for me, it's to test things out. I know for some people, they just like to play creative. I like to test things out. These are the big changes, the balance changes. These are the things that a lot of us asked for, and I'm glad that they actually are listening to us and taking the step in the direction of making the game a little bit less grindy. Photon animations have been updated. I'm going to check those out. Charcoal sizzle damage has been increased. I'm okay with that. I don't know. Well, there's a little bit more down here. Let's skip down it. Charcoal sizzle rate has been slowed down. That's the one I was actually looking at, because when you walk through that charcoal, even if you have on Fresh Defense 3 and the Antlion armor full set, the sizzle was like immediately like ramping up. So I'm okay with the fact that they balance it out by slowing it down if you're taking the proper precautions, I think. But also, if you're not, you're going to take a ton more damage. That makes sense, because you're actually standing, instead of the sun beating down on you like in the sandbox, you're actually standing right next to a hot coal. And imagine being that small, 3 or 4 centimeters tall, being next to a hot coal. I can imagine that would be very hot. Ammo radial supports paging now. That more than 8 hours type, okay. Black Ox Beetle audio adjusted, Ladybug audio adjusted, okay. Additional icons added for items that were using placeholders. This is fantastic, because we all knew that this was gonna happen eventually. Glad to see it happening now, because some of the parts, like the termite parts, look like black ant parts. The Black Ox parts were looking like, I think, red ant parts. So getting these things, unique things, I think, what was it, the bug loop? The new bug loop stuff was looking like sap. So now the fact that hopefully all of them have their own little icons now, so they're easy to tell. Light, medium, and heavy armor effects have unique icons. That's nice. Anytime you can get some kind of icon or anything where it's like you can actually see like the status effect things now where they're showing up on the screen, actually on your screen, not having to go on the UI. I love that kind of stuff. 25 to 50% durability for all weapons to compensate for higher repair cost. Big change here. Not sure if this will get us back to I don't think this is going to get us back to where we were before, but I'm going to do some testing this week and find out how much better it is now versus prior to this update. But this is definitely a huge step in the right direction, and I'm really happy that they decided to make a change like this. Reduce the base repair cost for most Tier 3 tools and weapons. Again, the cost of some of these repairs were pretty high before this update, so glad they see they're making that change. WoE mode now only applies a 25% durability penalty instead of 50% durability penalty, so that's great for anybody who wants to play on WoE mode, because from what I was hearing, people that play exclusive on WoE mode, this update up until this patch most likely, it was a lot of people are saying it was unplayable because their stuff was breaking so quickly, it was just impossible to actually play through any of the new content. Globs now cost 20% less shards to craft, 1 less for candy, 2 less for quartzite. Not as much as I would have liked to have seen it reduced, but I'm okay with that because actually, no, this is the glob. Yeah, this is a good change. It's a positive change, so let's just keep it positive. Scarabs now drop 2 to 5 twinkling stars instead of 1 to 2. Since it doesn't look like they're reducing the cost of making jewels, this is a great change because now you're gonna have to kill far fewer of those scarabs in order to upgrade your weapons to level 8 and 9. Slightly reduce the bounce height of bounce web hitbox. Okay. Players can no longer walk on constructed wall pieces. That is an interesting change. I'm wondering if that's going to stop people from using the triangle walls and stuff as stairs. So I'm wondering if that's what that means. That means you won't be able to cheese your way up on the top of things by using that. You'll actually have to build stairs or maybe the roof pieces. So that means you won't be able to build without using most likely the weed stems. Charcoal sizzle rate has been slowed down. We already talked about that. I like that. It's a good change. Remove base green thumb chance while growing normal mushrooms in the garden. Okay. Pupas hanging from the ceiling can now be knocked down like berries in the hedge. Awesome, awesome change because a lot of those pupas are up in really high spots and you'd have to do a lot of building just to reach them, to knock them down, and then that's just a really good change. I like that. I'm not sure. It doesn't say what they can be knocked down by, so it's going to be interesting to see because they did require the tier 3 axe to break, so I'm wondering if they lowered that. I wonder if you have to shoot it with the splinter arrows and not the base arrows. That's going to be something to test out. Pupas hanging from the ceiling is now properly respawn. Termite Delight meal added to the Woolpile cookbook, so we'll check that out sometime this week. Good to see that. So that's the second meal that was added along with the Black Ox Burger. Fall damage no longer affects durability in any way. I don't really usually take fall damage, but I guess maybe fall damage was causing your armor to take durability damage. Survey stations now cleanly cover all playable areas of the backyard once all are discovered. Okay. The one thing I would like to see with this, I'm not sure if you can actually do it or not. I haven't tried it. Is once you turn on a survey station, it kind of stays on there permanently until you turn it off. I'm wondering if there's a way to disable it so you can actually see the map cleanly. That'd be a nice quality of life change if it's not already in there. New Jack and Ball art, nice. Updated visual effects for Black Ox beetles and termites. It's going to be interesting to see what they look like. Additional terrain polish in the upper yard. I'm wondering if that's patching up that hole that was near the barbecue grill that you could fall through into infinity. Additional locations to discover in the upper yard. Oh boy, we got new stuff in the upper yard. Surprise, surprise. They put that all the way at the end of the patch notes too. Nice to see that. Additional item icons added. Update to the status effect display, the back plaque, and the status tabs. This is a fantastic patch right here. This might be the best patch I've seen for a public test server in since the last couple public test servers. So I'm really happy they made these changes. I'm going to reserve judgment to see how much of an effect they have until I actually test it out, but I'm glad to see that they are listening to feedback, which is why I love this development team. I know people have thought recently I've been highly critical of them. I'm not critical of them. Nobody can be perfect, and we all want different things. So some people thought the public test servers changes were just great. Other people didn't, and that's okay. We're here. We can disagree on this thing. That's why it's a public test server. That's why it's early access. We can all give our feedback, and the developers can make decisions on what they think the game, what direction they want the game to take, and we have to either adjust to it or just stop playing. And I don't plan on stop playing anytime soon. So I'm glad to see they're making these changes to durability. Glad to see they're making changes to the upgrade costs and the repair costs. Those are all positive changes. I'm definitely going to test them out this week and probably stream it a couple times. This is giving me a reason now to actually want to stream the game this week, so I'll probably stream it a couple days this week just to test out all these new things along with some other things I wanted to test out. So anyway, those are the changes in this patch today. This is making the public test server, this put the public test server, it's going much more towards a positive, I guess, direction in my opinion right now. So anyway, if you found this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.